There's a nasty virus, so stay indoors. Use the time to play the games that you couldn't before. In episode 2 of Ways to Keep Me Occupied During a Pandemic, we're going to take a look at a game called Domina. Or Domine? Or Domina. Google says Domina or Dominus was the word for master/owner in old Roman times. And I know that the word Dominus is in films and stuff, so with Dominus, then Domina. Why not? And that is indeed what you are in this little pixel art game where you take the role of a woman who owns and trains slaves into gladiators in ancient Rome. I know what you're thinking. Dominatrix is obviously derived from Domina. And to that I say, yeah, probably. You naughty boys, you. And what you're also thinking is, what the bloody fuck is this game all about, eh? Well, rising from rubbish/disrespected Domina to really good Domina who laughs at the rubbishist Dominas behind their backs at parties is pretty much it in a nutshell. You essentially dominate over the poor saps who spend all day toiling in the Italian sun to go from slave to gladiator, or more likely dead slave. And as that James Bond film once said, being stabbed by a gladiator is only one way to die. There is indeed another way to die. They can die of thirst, starvation if you don't feed and water them, or overwork if you don't give them a 30-second break between doing sit-up sets. Once you've whipped them enough, you throw them into duels to the death against other gladiators and gain rewards for victory, including more resources and slaves to beat. And here lies the basic charm of Domina. It's a very basic role-playing simulation game. You can't even control the gladiators unless you tell your whipped man to research something that allows you to. You simply sit there, buy food, water and wine, and train gladiators ready for the next fight. You don't even have to train them really, you can just press auto-train and your whipped man will sort it for you. Now I actually do remember buying this game. It was only in the last winter sale, I think, and I'm pretty sure I bought it because it was super cheap, had decent reviews, and I thought, let me be a little pixel gladiator and let me roleplay as that. It came as quite a shock when it turned out I was a woman, and a woman who doesn't even stab people. Well, not legally anyway. I obviously did not check the reviews or deep dive explanations, but I definitely would have looked at the small blurb Steam shows, and it says, acquire, train, upgrade and whip your brutish gladiators towards bloody victory in the ruthless arenas of ancient Rome. Now, maybe I'm the one who's just an idiot, probably. But that clearly shows that you can have several gladiators, which you can, but I do think it seems to suggest that this is primarily a combat game rather than a sim game, but maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit. It's not exactly a wrong blurb, but the yaw, I assume, was just me. I have a bunch of gladiators and I control them and I make them better and yada yada yada. However, if you go into this game thinking it's a combat game, you're going to be disappointed. You can take control of your gladiators if you research a certain thing to let you do it, but you'll find that you really do, simply because the AI is better than you. I don't mean that in a Dark Souls get good way or anything like that. I mean, like, there's not really much point in taking charge because you're no better really than the AI. You might as well just send your gladiator out and hope for the best, really. It's a much better tactic just to pick your gladiator based on stats and let them fight the other gladiator by themselves and just take the rewards. Controlling your gladiator can certainly come in handy sometimes. For example, if your gladiator is chained to the ground as a handicap at the start of the match, it's better to take control of them then. If you leave the AI, they'll just keep smacking the chain and let the other gladiator come and kill them before they attack them back. If you take control of it, you can just stand there with the chain on, get your shield up, wait for them to come at you, and swing at the right time. Most of the time though, the fights are brutal, bloody and quick, and skill rarely matters in these scenarios. Also, if you take control of your biggest, baddest guy and he dies, you're just gonna hate yourself and you're probably gonna have to start again because that's the kind of game this is. This is kind of annoying because generally the combat is quite a lot of fun to play. It's just, really you'll find yourself using the AI every single time because they're better than you. And did I mention how sad it is when your beefiest boy gets smashed and basically left in absolute tatters and tears and your ultimate aim is to take down the 8 or so best gladiators in Italy and become a badass dominer, but honestly I doubt you'll bother. I got through one of them easily enough and that was really that. It's not that it's a bad game, it's just, it is what it is. A half-an-hour game. You might pop it for 30 minutes, but you aren't going to spend hours at a time sinking into standing there watching your slaves do push-ups. And that's what it is, an interesting concept done simply and acceptably. It also helps the game's got a decent sense of humour and little events pop up. One, for example, was about your cousin or something who runs a sandal shop and this important guy who sells you slaves wants a discount. and the outcomes have minor consequences, but not enough to stop the overall light feel of the game. And in another one, you murder Roman soldiers dressed as goats, so there is that as well. It's $6.99 on Steam now, and honestly it's probably just about worth it if you feel you prefer that than spending another hour on Animal Crossing laying paths. It looks fine, plays fine, has a concept and idea well above fine. Perfectly fine game for the perfectly fine situation we currently find ourselves in. Everything is fine.